Da-da-dum, da-da-dum. Must be the money. Must be the money. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I want to welcome everybody to another episode of the Sports is My Love Language podcast. Yo, we got a big show tonight, man. It's so much to talk about. I mean, it's like the news just dropped it in our lap. All the things, the headlines that came across this afternoon. But one of them has been dominating since about last week, and it's crazy because people have so much of an opinion on why, where, how come, was he lying, was he telling the truth, was he selling them, and I find it fascinating. So the one thing we're going to start off with today is first let me introduce. I got my man Javito with me today. Hopefully AK and my man Dre and everybody joins us in a bit. And as usual, welcome to our living room, welcome to our barbershop where we talk it up, we chop it up, and we talk that ish about sports, man. Why? Because it's our love language. So here we go. First topic of the day. And again, this one just landed on our lap, came out of nowhere. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, going from Jackson State in Mississippi to University of Colorado. This thing caught so much news because it went from everything from he's a sellout to I would have done the same thing to he made a promise and then he just left. Like there's so many different angles and so many different ways to look at this that I'm very curious, man. I'm very curious to hear everybody's opinion on my crew. But Javito, what are your initial thoughts on this situation with Coach Prime?
So initially, to me, I didn't really get shocked by it. It just felt like eventually he was going to go into a bigger program. I think the only shock was it was Colorado. I thought it might have been some other school closer to Florida or closer to, just the East Coast. That he's going out a little bit more west, was the only shock and value. But again, this is Coach Prime, brought a lot of money to the HCBU.
HBCU.
Yeah. So he did a lot of wonders. He brought national attention to them. He started bringing in 5-star recruits to the league and all sorts. But, he's gonna go out to Colorado. He's gonna put on the prime time on them now. Now there's gonna be more views towards, let's just say, the West Coast now, because now there's Prime over there. And from what we've seen, he's capable of putting on a show with the team that he's going to be basically coaching. So, I think it's a good thing. Usually we're always talking about the SEC, but now we're going to be able to talk a little bit maybe of these West Coast teams that used to be pretty much a powerhouse back in the 90s and 2000s with Colorado, USC, even Oregon. So we'll see what happens, man. They were 1-10. What are they? 1-10 this year?
They went 1-11. Yeah, they went
1-11.
Laughing stock.
I don't know what to expect come next season. Obviously more wins, but are we going to see a 10-win season? I'm not too sure just yet. Yeah. But I would say let's see what he is all about on this stage. In 2 seasons. Where some of his recruits, obviously with the transfer portal, they're going to be switching over, obviously, right? You're going to be seeing sophomores and juniors jumping on and trying to get on so he might be able to do a quick turnaround. So that's why I say in 2 seasons, we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah. Okay, we're talking about Coach Prime and his jump from an HBCU, from Jackson State all the way to Colorado, and his jump into a Power 5 school, and a lot of the backlash he's gotten, some of the things that people have been saying, and just curious to know what are your guys' thoughts? What's your thought on that subject?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it probably comes from a good place. Like there was a good percentage of people who wanted to see an historically black college, raise that conference.
Yeah.
And so they're disappointed that he left. But this is the way the game goes. And not to mention, I think a lot of this has to do with his son too, right? Like this is his son's opportunity to play in a power conference and show what he's got for his NFL draft. So I'm not mad at him. I think I think Barry Sanders and Michael Irvin are transferring there, so they should have a good team next year.
Yeah, right.
No, I suspect they're going to have a ton of transfers, actually. People are going to want to play for that guy. Especially, like he seems to be like a father figure too. So for a lot of the young kids who may not have as much of that at home, I would think their families would be comfortable with somebody who seems to be genuine in his desire to help young athletes.
So check this out, man. I am absolutely balls deep. When I tell you I am balls deep in this fucking subject right here, this has been my area of concentration for like the last 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like I love college football, so this right here has been the talk of college football for the last 3 weeks. Okay, and I've been all in. And first of all, I've already been following him like crazy because I love the social media stuff that he's doing with his kids and how he kind of like puts them out there. And that's their camera guy, and he gives you inside look at what he's doing at Jackson State. So I was already in, right? Now, here's the deal. I got a couple of different perspectives. My first perspective is if I'm a member of Jackson State, right, I'm a person that goes to that school. And I was there for the promises. Not necessarily the players, but I was a student there, and I heard him make the promises. And I heard him with the speeches. And I heard I felt the energy and the vibe that he brought to the stadium. I would be bitter and upset that he left. I would 100% be bitter and upset that he left. You know what I mean? It would suck. Why? Because I would have felt like he sold me a dream. Not that he sold me a dream and he's a bad guy. More so like you lied to me about how close we actually were to that dream. The reality it was Jackson State never got close. Here's the thing. You got this guy with every good intention. He has every good intention in the world. And he went to Puffy. And he went to Beyonce. And he went to all these people. And he said, hey, listen, I want Jackson State to be Colorado. I want us to have that same stadium. I want us to have that same locker room. I want this. Shit, we can make it a better version of that. Let's do it here. Right? And everybody turned their back on him. There was a couple of guys like Michael Strahan donated some suits. There's some people that donated here and there. He went to Walmart. You know where they practiced? They practiced on a dirt field. You know what it reminds me of, Javi? Remember we used to play football in Jersey City underneath the highway? What's that field over there? In Jersey City, there were the needles. There was like needles on the freaking thing or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. That not the one under Dickinson, right next to the school, but there was the other one that
some other field out there. Yeah, we used to go play like freshman and sophomore. Yeah. That's what it looked like. That's what they played on, bro. You know what he did? He went to Walmart, and he said, "Hey, man, I want you to help me donate a field to these people." Now they have a practice field, and they have an indoor game field, so they don't have to lose. Before, when it rained, they couldn't practice. He did that. He was getting paid $500,000. Out of that $500,000, he had to pay his coaching staff. His coaching staff, Zimmer, Thurman, all NFL coaches. And they said, we'll stay here for you, Brian. We'll do this for you. And here's the promise, and this is the promise he made them. He goes, look, when I step up and I get a better job, I promise I'll pay you. I promise I got you guys on the back end. So a lot of this move that he made was not just to get paid and do all that, was to also pay his coaches. So out of that $500,000, he paid his coaches. Jackson State made a last-minute effort, and they said, we'll give you $1 million, Brian, if you stay. But you got to pay your coaches out of that $1 million. He's like, I just gave you guys – they didn't have a locker room. He built them a locker room. You know what I'm saying? The point being is this. He gave so much, right? And the problem is this. His personality and his mouth are so larger than life that you believe that he can give you the world. You believe it. But at the end of the day, he's a human and he's a man. And he's going to fall short. And when he falls short, you're like so disappointed, like a little kid, like, oh, man. And in reality, if you take a step back away from the painting and look at the big picture, you're like, holy shit, look what this man did. This man He made chicken fucking soup out of chicken shit. You know what I mean? And that's what he did. So like with him, I'm like, yo, bro, you owe them nothing. You laid it on. It's to the point where I have a feeling, and this is just me talking shit. I have a feeling if he stayed there 2 or 3 more years, he would have gotten sick. Really sick. Because that's how much weight he was carrying. Yo, they didn't have water. We're in America. This is a first world country. Where the hell do you hear that a major city has no water? They have a water crisis. And the governor and the mayor of the city are at odds. So there's like some political beef behind it. He says, hey, I got a person that can fix this for you. I could bring them in. Shut up, Dion. Stick to football. When the disaster hit over there, they didn't have nowhere to go. He rented out hotels for the kids. Point being, again, I don't want to keep going down that road. Point being, he doesn't owe them shit. He did it. His personality it's like that guy that brags about a huge dick. Oh yeah, I'm a fucking shit. I got a big ass dick. He can never match. He can never live up to the hype. Never. He overbragged. You can't. No matter what you do. And that's what he kind of does. He kind of like, but he does deliver on a big stage. Now, him going to Colorado, I was like, Colorado? Man, Colorado. I was hoping he would go somewhere in Texas, somewhere in Florida where he has a base. But then he goes there, and I'm like, oh, snap. He has reach. This guy has reach. He has that transfer portal has people from all over the country. The first day, within the first 12 hours, Colorado got contacted by 200 recruits trying to get into their school, see if they can transfer. That is insane. So he already has a 5-star running back from Alabama. He's got the number 1 JUCO cornerback. He already has Travis Hunter coming. What do you call it? They got running backs. They got skill position. That's the other thing. And I think people are overlooking this. They're overlooking what he's about to do. He's about to bring a lot of those kids from the HBCU to play over in the Pac-12. And he's going to show everybody that skill position for skill position, the HBCUs can hang with anybody. They can hang with anybody. At wide receiver, corner, quarterback, running back, you could put those kids in any team in the country and they can hang. That's how good that division is, skill-wise. Where they lack is offensive linemen, defensive linemen, linebackers, because they just don't have size. They don't recruit size. You know what I mean? So they're missing that aspect. Not even on the first. I would say they don't recruit depth. Where Georgia could go 3 or 4 deep on their defensive line. Yo, the first guy gets hurt at Jackson State. That's it. After that, it drops off drastically. You know what I mean? So he's about to bring that. He's about to highlight a lot of those kids because he's going to put – he already said it. Yo, Shedeur Sanders is going to start. He's the real deal. He was a 4-star recruit, bro. He was a 4-star recruit at IMG, one of the best high schools in the country, in Braden, Florida. What do you call it? He had scholarship offers from all over the country, was committed, I believe it was to USF or FAU, I'm not sure, one of those two, was committed, you know what I mean? And now he's going to go play at Colorado. The last part, I don't mean to chew you guys' ears off, but the last part of it is this. People didn't like the way he approached the Colorado team when he did his opening speech. There was some parts of it that I was like, okay. And we had talked about it a couple of weeks ago where we all were like, yeah, it's a little too much prime, too much me. You know what I'm saying? He kind of takes the spotlight off the kids. But what he did do that I loved was he stood in front of them and said, oh, you see this picture that we have right here? Oh, hell no. This is all gone. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people from the outside looking in are like, that's messed up. If I was one of those kids, I would have walked out. Walk out. You're fucking 1 in 11. Who gives a shit if you walk out? Who cares if you walk? What you're telling me, it can't get any worse. You walk out, all you're proving to me is you can't compete. And you don't have that dog in you that I need. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he was basically doing. He was like, yo, I'm bringing my Louis with me. In other words, he's bringing his boys from the HBCU to show you that you kids that have had all this, handed to you, right? All these luxuries of a beautiful weight room, a beautiful locker room, all these things you've been enjoying, right? You love it? Okay, cool. Now I'm going to show you what a player looks like when he's starving and when he's real hungry. It's like, you know what it reminds you of? You remember when Rocky got too much money and he was fighting Glover Lane or whatever, right? And what do you call it? Apollo Creed takes him to the hood. And he goes, "You see that rock? That's the eye of the tiger. You lost the eye." Well, these kids from Colorado, they're about to see these boys from the HBCU, and they're about to look at them in the eye and say, "Oh, these boys got the eye of the tiger," because they didn't have all those luxuries. They're coming into this brand new, like, "Oh, word, I'm about to show out because I like this lifestyle." You know what I mean? Now, can it be successful right away? I think we need to temper that, and we need to be realistic. What is the successful season? Mind you, this team was the worst in entire college football. They were worse than Rutgers, bro. They were bad. You know what I mean? And they don't have a division. They when they looked at the roster, they were like, most of these kids aren't even really Division I players. They have like one or two. You know what I mean? And he's left with that roster. And I'm gonna tell you like this: first year, second year, first year, if he gets to 5 wins, that's it. 5 wins, maybe a couple of wins in the division, it's a success. That's a benchmark for success because that's a culture changer. You know what I'm saying? You're no longer the fucking punching bag, the basement of the division. And then the next year, if you can build on that, props to him. It's not going to be an overnight change because a lot of these teams out there, you got USC. Let me tell you something. I'm going to say it like right now. When USC plays Colorado next year, it might be 100-14. It might be 114. I'll tell you just like that. Because that machine on offense that USC has, come on, bro. That's built over time. That's chemistry. That's months and years together, you know, in the heat, on the off season, all that shit building. That doesn't happen overnight, bro. And you got Lincoln Riley. He's an offensive genius. So I don't know. But what I will say, when they play Air Force, they're going to give them a game. When they play Cal, when they play Oregon State, Oregon, when they play Utah, maybe not Utah, but when they play a lot of these teams, that's when they're going to give them the work. And you're going to see that Dion in them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited. I'm excited as hell. I think he has the right to move. Yo, the last thing before I go, guys, is he was robbed 4 times at Jackson State. He goes out to a game, he comes back, his chains, wallets, whatever, gone from one of the press rooms. His son Shiloh's car got broken into twice. His daughter, that's his baby, her car got broken into. At some point, you're like, yeah, I got to watch out for my kids. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And it sucks. It sucks. I understand that from within the culture, you know what I'm saying? When you're within that culture of HBCU, even if you're a person of color and you're trying to fucking, you know, hey, nah, man, you know, we're good, whatever. I get it. I get it. It sucks. It's a bad look. But that man has to take care of his family, bro. F that. If that's the case, you know, you get robbed and all that shit, more power to him. And I'm excited to see what he brings. I'm excited to pay attention to the transfer portal, to see what the recruits are doing in these next couple of weeks. This just put a big injection into that Pac-12. And Colorado football will not – I want to see Nebraska-Colorado first week next year. That stadium is going to be electric. But whatever, man. That's what
the only part that I'll fight back a little bit is I don't think those guys are just like – you know, like I don't think the players at Colorado are not hungry. I just don't think they have the talent. Like these guys also know that this is their chance to make it to the league. This is their chance. Like this is their. I don't think they weren't hungry. I just think maybe the coaching wasn't as good and they didn't have the talent. So I'll also say that he's got Florida as a place he can always recruit. Colorado, a lot of people from California are moving there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a big California influence, which is huge, and Colorado is becoming a really popular destination to live. So there's some factors that could help him. But yeah, I mean, it's the only reason why you'd think they jump to 5 or 6 wins is if his quarterback is that good. His son.
I think Shedeur. You know who Shedor's mentor is? Every offseason, Shedeur has one guy that he trains with, Tom Brady. That's it.
Oh, nice.
And I'm not talking about for a week or two. I'm talking about he goes to Tom Brady, and Tom Brady trains for 3 months, whatever, and Shedeur Sanders trains with Tom Brady for 3 months. He's the only person with the TB12. He's the TB12 brand ambassador. That's how tight they are. That's Uncle Tom Brady. Uncle Tom. That's Uncle Tom Brady. But that's how tight they are. And that's why he's like, the golden child. Labeled the golden child. Let's go. Hopefully Dre gets on, because I really want to hear you guys talk that World Cup talk. But what do you guys think about these baseball trades, man? Let's talk about Judge, man. What do you think about giving the Judge? Here comes the Judge. What do you think about the money we gave him for 9 years?
I don't know if the money was really the problem. I think it's more of the years that's the problem. If you would have told me 6 years, $360 million, I would have been like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But now you're giving him 3 more years. So we're like, I doubt anybody's going to want to trade for him at that point, right? Like, look at what's happening with Mike Stanton at this point. Like, nobody's wanting him at the end. I'm not too sure if we're going to be able to unload him. But again, I know that the Yankees, they needed to hold on to the guy, right? It just felt like that, and they tried to like low ball him, whatever you want to say, a year ago, or even this before the spring even started, right? Now they had to overpay. If not, he would have went to San Francisco for the same amount of money. Now, my whole thing is that I hear that San Francisco offered him 7 years, $360 million. So I'm just not too sure, what the real factor was to give him the extra 2 years. But anyways, he's a Yankee. Am I glad? Yes. But I'm just, again, I just don't know how this, he's going to be 39 at the end of the contract. You know what I'm saying? He's 6'7", 275 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, if he's going to be in his 5th year of the contract, if he's still going to be walking. This was probably his only season he was pretty healthy. Just healthy all of a sudden, contract. Yeah.
Contract year.
It just works out, lovely like that for some reason. But, I think
Danny says it's been like 50 years since they won a championship, and don't think that this signing gets them there.
No, it doesn't.
That's how I feel. I don't think
it doesn't. I mean, that's what I was about to lead into it. That,
the
Yankees still need a lot more than just signing Judge back, because, as he carried them in the regular season to get them to the playoffs, but once it got to the postseason, Aaron Judge was not good at all.
That's when we see pitching is king.
Yeah, and that's
all
where
of a sudden pitching is king, man.
Which goes right into the Mets. They lost DeGrom. To free agency to the Texas Rangers because they felt like giving him 5 years was too much. So they decided to say, the hell with it, we'll take the short-term route. We'll overpay Justin Verlander and just give him 2 years at $86 million. So
let me ask you a question. What is DeGrom showed health-wise that Texas gave him such a long contract?
Nothing.
I don't get that. Like, that blew my mind. I was like, I get he's a great pitcher when he's
the best.
When he's available.
Yeah,
but he's hurt a lot, man. He's hurt a lot. That was the problem with the Mets in the first half of the year. In the first half of the year, he wasn't available. It wasn't him. He was hurt or whatever. And I'm like, I don't get giving him that kind of money unless he's changes his whole regimen or something. I don't know, man. I don't know. That kind of caught me off guard. But I like the Verlander. I like the Verlander trade. I like that. 2 years for a guy that's proven, especially, World Series caliber pitcher. They needed him this year. They needed him.
And then, the Phillies picked up what? Is it Shea Turner right there? You know what I'm saying? Shea Turner. I don't know why I keep on saying Shea Turner, but they picked. So now that lineup is even more diesel, So it's like that the NL East, between the Braves, the Mets, and the Phillies, it's going to be.
And you know what's crazy? The favorite in Vegas is still the Astros, followed by the Dodgers.
Didn't they get a Brave?
Followed by did they picked up a Brave?
I'm not too sure if they picked up.
Followed by the Yankees, and then in a fourth place tie is the Mets and the Braves. And so check this out: Philly just makes it this year, and they're still not even. How is it on paper they don't consider them this year?
Because we got hot in the playoffs, but we were super inconsistent during the year. Like we haven't been a great team for the last few years. We just got really hot. But I agree, our lineup will be a lot better now. And I'll say I like Danny. Danny has a couple good comments. I'll say that No, it doesn't get the Yankees closer, but it doesn't get them farther away either, which it would have if he left.
I mean,
who cares about the? Not who cares. Like, you guys are right, but it actually means a little less. I haven't seen the structure, but it's possible they're paying him. They're uploading that contract too, and in the last couple of years, it's not that much. I'm not saying that's how it is, but it's possible.
But I know what he's saying. Like, it doesn't get them closer, but we're talking about the Houston Astros just being the block, right? That's the hurdle, and that's been the hurdle for like the past 6 seasons. So like, and I agree with you. It doesn't get us further, but we're still in the same spot. It's the Houston Astros in the American League, and that's who you got to beat to get to the World Series at this point. Even if they lost Verlander, we've seen them. They've lost pitchers throughout the years, and they come back with other pitchers to basically get to the World Series.
Well, those two young Dominican guys in the playoffs, they were ridiculous. I say you got to watch out for the Padres now too.
Yeah, obviously, I was going to jump.
Oh, the three-headed monster they got, yeah.
Well, not only that, they just picked
Xander Bogaerts back. They got Bogaerts, they got Tatis back. They added Soto, and they got Machado. I mean, that in itself is
three-headed monster. I'm telling you, freaking that offense,
four-headed monster,
and defense.
Yeah, with Grisham back there, and you could still say that. What's the guy that came from Kansas City? That's the first baseman.
Hosmer.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a decent bat, man. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't strike out often, and that's what you need sometimes. Just put the ball in play.
You know what I'm afraid of with Judge, and I know it's not the same thing. But I'm afraid we're gonna end up with like a Bobby Bonilla contract, where 5 years from now he hasn't played in like 4 years because of injury or whatever, and we're still paying him every year. His name comes up and he has to get paid. I would hate that, bro. I would hate that. Let's say Judge plays about 4 years in this contract, his body starts to break down, and then you see that same contract fucking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years from now because of his ass. I don't know, man. I don't think you give a guy his size, mind you, unless he's on some good PDs. Hopefully he gets on some good PDs. You know what I mean? Hopefully he does that.
Hopefully he gets some good PDs.
Yeah, hopefully he gets a good regimen. Talks to Tom Brady, gets on whatever he's on. You know what I mean? All right. Yo, let's touch on some NFL. Only because it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Only because it's too much baseball talk for.
Who's your MVP right now? This week. I know it changes from week to week. Who's your MVP right now?
Love Jalen Hurts, but it's Mahomes.
Oh, how do you jump? How do you do it? Yo, dude, I'm with Jalen Hurts.
He's gonna throw for 5,000 yards. He's gonna lap Hurts and touchdown passes. He has really no legit nasty wide receivers. The guy lost Tyreek Hill and is gonna throw for 5,000 yards.
He's got,
and it's not like he's they have a losing record. They have 3 losses. They're number 2 seed in the conference. I don't know.
I think for me, okay, maybe it's for me. It's like the year Kobe Bryant lost the MVP to Steve Nash. He could have won it every year. You know what I'm saying? But all right, give it to somebody else. That's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling about Mahomes. All right, Mahomes can win it. We can literally throw his name out there every year. But I think that this year, based on the growth, based on the team record, based on how they're winning, give me my man Jalen Hurts. Because he's not just doing it with his legs, where he's killing it, but he's doing it with his arm. He's killing it with his arm. And that was the main. Remember, that was the one where we were like, "Oh, I don't know, man. Can he throw the ball?"
Is that just thinking about last game? Because I think it was the 3 games before that he didn't even pass 175 yards passing.
No. You see, what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? He ran the hell out of the ball, but
he's done it. He's done it periodically when he needed it.
They have a complete team. The Chiefs don't. First of all, respect to Pacheco because he's a South Jersey kid and some of the homies' young nephew, but they don't really have a legit running game at this point. Their defense isn't nearly as good as ours. Their offensive line isn't nearly as good as ours. The only thing that they have that from a team perspective on offense that is comparable or better than us is tight end. To lose Tyreek Hill and throw for 5,000 yards, which look like what he's about to do, that's crazy, man. They need him. He's the most valuable player.
Yeah. Okay, but it's a quarterback award, right? So let's. I love Patrick Mahomes. I think he's amazing. I would give it to him every year. I just think what Jalen is doing is special because it's not just the tangibles, it's the intangibles. The way he's leading that team is phenomenal. He's the unquestioned leader of that team. And that's a great team. To me, I don't care what anybody says, yo. And I don't know, maybe I could be completely wrong. They're my number one team in the power rankings. That's my number one team, Philly. It's not the Cowboys. It's not Buffalo. It's not what do you call it? Because I've seen glaring weaknesses on each of those teams. I'm yet to see a glaring weakness on Philly, unless I'm not watching the game properly. Kill, maybe you can help me. What's their glaring weakness?
We haven't seen that yet this year. A shout out to ESPN, who predicts us to have only one more loss, and that's against the Cowboys. By the way, if he has a really good game against the Cowboys and we win, maybe he jumps Mahomes. That'll be important. But would they have us going 15-2, and then they have us have a 30% chance of making the Super Bowl, and the Cowboys at a 50% chance of making the Super Bowl when they have to play an extra game? That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So shout out to ESPN for that. No, they haven't had any glaring. Even the Washington game, Goddard, they didn't call the face mask. That turned into a turnover. He got hurt. Like, Jalen has played well, and he deserves to be in that conversation. I mean, he's been fantastic. So I'm not.
The other thing is, there's not a team or a quarterback that has his number, and I feel like Cincinnati has. They have Kansas City's number, man. And I think Joe Burrow I know it's not a one-on-one game, but when their heads up, Joe Burrow outplays him, bro.
Joe Burrow's throwing to Chase, Higgins, and Boyd.
Joe Burrow's
this guy's throwing to Schuster and fucking
Schuster.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same.
He's a monster.
But I think Burrow's the dark horse for MVP, probably.
No, he's a beast. He's a beast. Javi, what are your thoughts?
Cincinnati is the best team in the league, bro. I'm gonna say I know it's hard to believe, but they got a good defense, man. They got a really good defense, and Joe Burrow's tough, man. Joe Burrow, if he had a line against the Rams, they win the Super Bowl. Let's get that out of the way. And that line, and their line is better. So just imagine. They went to the Super Bowl with him getting sacked every 8 to 10 plays.
Yeah.
And now he's getting protected. So just imagine, they also have a running game, and their defense is good.
And they're stacked at wide receivers.
Exactly. So I'm there thinking, I'm like, after seeing them again beat the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm just there like, this team has what it takes to get back to the Super Bowl.
Joe Burrow is everything they claim Herbert is. That to me, I feel like Joe Burrow is everything they claim Herbert is.
I don't know who they are, because I keep on saying I'm still looking for Justin Herbert to beat the Las Vegas Raiders when they need to. And I don't have to question that with Burrows or with Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? It's like I keep on feeling like they're still giving Justin Herbert way too much props. And again, I know the win-loss record shouldn't always be on the quarterback, but I see certain games and I'm like, yeah, man, he's not as good at those guys. Yes, he has the arm strength. Yes, he has the height. Yes, he has the look, but I don't think he still has it here. And to me, you just take a look at Burrows. You take a look at Mahomes, and even Josh Allen, which I feel like sometimes we give Josh Allen a little too much as well because of all the explosiveness. But I still think when it comes to the mental game, I'm giving it to Mahomes, and I'm giving it to Joe Burrow over every other quarterback, obviously besides Tom Brady, because I know Tom Brady's the GOAT when it comes to that. But right now, at the up and up, it's those two guys, which is Mahomes and Joe Burrows. And Aaron Rodgers definitely not in there anymore.
I got a question for you guys. You are Lamar Jackson. What's your next move? you come back and play? Do you whatever? What do you do? What are your thoughts?
I play if I'm healthy. I want a contract.
Yeah, but it's a double-edged sword, right? So what if he doesn't play, right, and they start losing, right? So it's like, yo, there's the value. We need him to win, right? But if they win without him, you know, then the value goes low. So
that's a bad look, right?
Yeah. So it's like, you know, at this point, if I'm him, I'm gonna try to play, because if the defense continues to get better, like they've shown over the last, let's just say, month, you know, even though they shit the bed a couple of times, but they look like they're getting better. You know, if I'm him, I'm trying to play. You know, because if you win, the value just continues to show. All right, we win with him. But if they start winning with Hundley, they're going to be like, all right, man, we don't have to offer him the 40 million to 45 million to 50 million that he's asking for.
Here's the thing, man. I think they need to get – see, now Greg Roman all of a sudden is up for all these jobs, right? Possible jobs and all these different – he's this offensive – I don't see it, bro. I don't see how this guy's an offensive genius.
Who? The one from the Ravens?
Yeah.
I think he's garbage.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, this guy makes 0 halftime adjustments.
I think he's garbage.
And these teams are coming back on them from like 21-point deficits. No, I don't see it either. I don't see how that guy – I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. They're trying to tell me that, he's great. No. First of all, that, and I just don't like what the front office has done. I said it when the draft came. Yeah, they drafted a great safety. Yo, he was great. He's great. He's really good. I'll give it to them. And he's going to turn out to be maybe even a Pro Bowl safety. That's not what this team needed. It's absolutely not what this team needed. This team needed a fucking weapon on the. Imagine this guy's with a Jamar Chase, with a Jefferson, with a Higgins, with a freaking a wide receiver on the outside, bro. Just to give me one. Just give me one. Yo, this guy is always hurt. They relied on this one cat that has not been healthy all year, or even last year. And guess what? He's hurt again. No, man. I don't know. The Ravens get a lot of props for being a solid organization. And when I look, I'm like, nah, man. I see too many. There's a lot of bullshit over there, bro. Like, come on, man. You gotta, if you're gonna call him your franchise, give him weapons. If you're gonna call him your franchise, build around him. Don't just be like, go ahead, go be Lamar. That's what they do. It's like, go be Lamar. Go. You know what I'm saying? They do to him what Kyler Murray wishes they did to him.
Yeah, but they won 2 Super Bowls with an average quarterback, no receivers, best catch passers, their tight end, and a really good defense. That's their
No. Wait. I correct you. Not a really good defense. An all-time great defense.
For the first one. Last time was really good. The first
all-time
one was
really great.
Lewis and Sharp and Ed. Yeah, sure. But the last one was really good. But that's how they build. That's how they build.
The question is this, right? What do you call it? It was a balanced attack. It was a balanced attack where they couldn't lean on any one particular person. So you game plan kind of for like a whole team.
Torrey Smith was the best receiver on the last Ravens team, and that's outside of their tight end. And the one before
and Anquan Boldin.
Anquan Boldin, right?
But before that, it was literally just Shannon Sharp, who was a tight end. I bet you none of us can name even a receiver on that Super Bowl team.
No. They had. I'll tell you why. Brandon Stokely. No, they had they had another one.
Wes Welker, Danny Amendola.
No, Brandon Stokely was on that team.
No, I know. I'm just saying he's in the
and with Peyton Manning, he became a 1,000-yard receiver as well. So, like, it's kind of
they had
weird.
Jamal Lewis on that team as well.
They had Jamal Lewis.
He was a rookie.
The running back, yeah. What do you call it? So, point being this, man. Here's the thing. Here's the difference between those teams and the team today. The team today is stop Lamar. That's it. Let's put 8 in the box, stop Lamar. Hope maybe he'll dunk to the tight end, but stop Lamar. That's it. It's not fair. It's just not fair to me. I don't look at it as it's not. Yo, I saw a stat today that cracked me up because it was like Lamar Jackson won his Heisman in 2016. Stetson Bennett was nominated to be a Heisman this year. They're the same age right now. That means Lamar's only 25, bro. It's not fair what they're doing to his career. He's only 25, man. It's not fair that they're putting that kind of pressure on him and then not giving him any help. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's being talked about enough. That boy's a baby. He's a baby. He's younger than Herbert, younger than Joe Burrow, younger than what do you call it? Patrick Mahomes. He's younger than Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? He's a baby, bro. He's a baby. That's not fair, man. It's not fair to me, at least. I don't think.
Hey, going back to that Ravens 2001 team, Priest Holmes was the backup of Jamal Lewis.
Priest Holmes. Yeah, they got Priest Holmes, yo.
Yeah, man. And then actually Ben Coates was their tight end.
Ben Coates, yeah, from New England, right?
And with Shannon Sharp.
Look at that.
And
That team wasn't weak. The team was all right.
The funny thing is that Ben Coates had more receptions than Shannon Sharp in the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
Shannon was retired. Like he was at the end of his career already. He was towards the end.
And
what do you
then,
call it?
The Rockets' brother, the Missile, was on that team.
Oh, yeah. I see this smile. What was he gonna say? Yo, so we could jump. We can make the jump now, man. I was hoping Jay be on, but Javito's on you for a little bit at least.
Yes, sir.
World Cup 2022. Yo, there has been some crazy upsets. That Morocco upset was insane with Spain.
There were.
Actually, was pretty dope. Okay, so tell us, what did you see from the American team, bro? Were you impressed by anything? What did you like? What didn't you like about the U.S. team?
All right, so shout out to Batch out in Brickell. I went to go watch it out there, but I liked what they did. They were aggressive. They tried to go get that victory, right? And that was the one thing that I will say that I did like. What I didn't like is their defense. Obviously, it felt like there was every single time there was a cross, somebody was wide open on the Dutch side, and 3 crosses, three goals. These guys were just basically unmarked. But I do see people saying, like the U.S. is on the right path. They've been on the right path for quite some time. They've always had athletes. What they have to work on is their tactical play. They have to start working on their skills, because they have a lot of these guys that play out in Europe now. So there is that skill level that's getting better, but when you put it together with tactics, it's a different form of soccer. And I don't know if the U.S. coach has figured that out yet. They need a striker, obviously. But again, they were one of the youngest teams going into the World Cup, so that's a good thing. So I was happy, for their aggressive trying to get the victory instead of just playing the let's just say the defensive game. But at the same time, when it comes to soccer, it's a balancing act. Yes, you want to go attack and get your goals, but at the same time, you got to leave your defense in a good position. And I feel like part of the U.S. is these. Let's just say growing pains that continue because they don't put a complete game together when it comes out to knockout play. But other than that, man, you got to give a shout out to the Dutch. They play the patient game, which is always a good thing. And when they needed to make the goals, they got them. All right, they put it on goal. Not like the U.S. The U.S. had their opportunities and they didn't put it on goal.
Okay, what do you call it? Who's your favorites? Would you like? Go ahead. Go give us that World Cup talk, man.
All right, man. So I'm wearing it right now, man. I want Brazil to make it to the finals, man. South America. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's the only 2 America side teams, in the Western Hemisphere is right now is Argentina and Brazil. So I'm rooting for Brazil because I just love the talent that they have, the way that they play. So I'm hoping for them to get to the final against France, which is, to me, the other most talented team. Obviously France won the last World Cup, so people are probably just not rooting for them. But I am. I'm rooting for them to get to at least to the final, and I want Brazil to win. Now, with that being said, there is no guarantees in soccer. Like we saw with Morocco beating Spain, right? It gets to the point that, there is no justice when it comes to soccer. You know who the 2 most talented teams are. It's Brazil and France, but that doesn't mean they're going to be in the finals. Danny, I hear you, but Brazil and Argentina would play in the semifinals. They won't get to the finals, because one of them is going to have to take each other out. That's if they both beat their competition, which
No,
Argentina
Javi,
plays,
he's saying that France will make it from the other side because Portugal's defense is shaky.
which
Yeah,
it
it's
is, which
Brazil
it
versus
is.
Argentina, and then France will make it from the other side because the Portuguese defense is leaky.
But I'm gonna say this, right? They had the Euros in France. All right. And guess who won the Euros in France? Portugal against France in the final.
What do you think about them sitting? What do you call Ronaldo?
I think, listen, man, if it makes a team better, that's all it is. You know, look, we can't expect a 37, 38-year-old soccer player to be the guy he was 7 years ago.
Well, Javi, check this out. Let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
I'm acting like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I listened to about 5 minutes of fucking what do you call it? And I was listening because I heard, that's a big name, and they were talking about how he got benched, right?
Yes.
But then with the one guy, the analyst, he goes, wait, but let's not act like the only reason they scored all those goals because they brought in that rookie, that young guy. That's not what happened. He goes, they switched from a primarily defensive mode, and when they took Ronaldo out, they went to a heavily offensive set where they were like literally everybody's an attacker or some shit. Did you see anything like that, or do you know anything about that?
Well, that's exactly what happened. All right. I don't know what the mindset was as to going full offensive this time around, but every single time Ronaldo was on the field, it felt like they were more defensive key, but I don't know if it's one of those things that, that the other players feel pressured, to get Ronaldo the ball. So they're more in tune to like pass him the ball and let's retreat and play defense a little bit more and let him do everything, as opposed to, all right, we're all Ronaldo's not on the field, so let's play a little bit free. And that's what it looked like, right? It looked like everybody played a little bit free, not worried about, let's just say, feeding somebody else's ego, because that's what people think of Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh, there's this ego. He just always wants the ball. He wants everything for him. You know what? That may be true, but at the end, he wants to win. And that they scored 6 goals, and that the guy that they brought in hit a hat trick. I'm gonna tell you like this: a lot of people say, "Oh, he's got more knockout goals than Cristiano Ronaldo," and I'm like, that's kind of funny because that kid that they put in has more knockout goals than probably everybody that's in the World Cup still right now.
Yeah.
So let's not just everybody just wants to hate on people and not. At this point, I'm just there give the kid props. He had a hat trick. But if you want to keep on always putting Cristiano Ronaldo on the pedestal and give him the shine, even though there was nothing to it, it's always basically a soap opera there, bro. So at this point, you know what? If Portugal continues to win with Cristiano Ronaldo on the bench, he said it. I'll take it. Because the main thing for him is he wants Portugal. Yeah, he wants Portugal to win the World Cup. And if it means that he doesn't score any goals, he was like, I'll sign up for that.
Wow, that's dope. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, man. It gets ridiculous a little bit with, the whole soap opera stuff. But, Argentina, Netherlands is going to be a great matchup tomorrow. You got 2 teams. Last time in 2014, Argentina knocked out the Netherlands in the penalty kicks. So, I think the Netherlands are want to get that revenge. Mm-hmm. I think France could beat England, but again, England is that dark horse. England has the players to not maybe totally match up with everything on France, but they have the speed and they have, let's just say, the physicality to compete with a France. With that being said, I hope France destroys England because I can never root for England.
What do you think of Morocco? Let's go back to Morocco. What do you think of that? What do you think of their underdog story?
It's a good underdog story. Can they beat Portugal? They can, but I don't think they're going to beat Portugal because I think compared to Spain, I think Portugal at this point has better skilled midfielders as opposed to what Spain had. Spain, after a while, just didn't have ideas of what to do. As you saw, it was just Morocco knew, all right, we'll just play defense because they don't know how to put it on goal. They know how to pass, but they don't know how to shoot it on goal. As opposed to the Portugal midfielders, they know how to get the ball and play to get shots on goal. Because a guy like Bernardo Silva, great midfielder, knows how to attack, and he's gonna try to get in between those
those pockets that he could get to get the offensive players that Portugal does have to put shots on goal.
Was it a mistake for Ramos not to be on the Spain team? They keep making they keep making it. See, I'm only asking because they keep making it such a highlight. Like, yo, the guy from Morocco did the dance because they left, and I'm like, okay, was that a good call or was that just
what I think Ramos brings is a veteran, a captain.
Is that like when they left Dempsey off?
Say again?
Is that like when the Americans left Dempsey off? That it was like, nostalgic. He was once the captain or whatever or something like that.
No, because when it comes to let's just say striking and attacking players, it's a little bit different.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to a defender. A defender could still defend, and Ramos is look. The guy at Portugal, Pepe, is older than Ramos right now, and he's starting.
Oh, wow.
All right, so you can just tell that sometimes age is really not a factor when you're on the defensive side. When you're on the offensive side, you got to start beating the defenders, right? As opposed to a defender, all you need is to basically make sure that you have enough space to catch up to the guy, because remember, you're the last line of defense. So that the offensive guy needs to beat you. So if I'm a 38-year-old guy, this time around playing the mind game, I'm taking a step back a little bit more just in case I need to go full speed to catch up to the guy. I already have that 2 steps ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think it was a mistake just to keep let's just say the composure a little bit better. And we've seen Ramos be clutch in goals towards the end. So if there was a header that's needed, Ramos used to be that guy to get in there. They didn't have that with anybody in Spain. You can't bring up a defender like him right now. There's nobody on Spain that you would say, all right, let's just put a cross into the box and see if one of them could basically make the header. No, that's the guy. That's why you needed a Ramos, because Ramos is the type of player that could get you that header and give you that goal.
You gotta respect the guy that can get head.
Hey.
No, yo, man. I mean,
soccer conversation just got unboring real quick.
No, listen, I ain't even gonna lie, bro. Like the whole soccer thing, right? It's
not for everyone.
No,
it's the most watched sports in the world, bro.
Listen, it's not the game. It's the actual game. I have a hard time following. I like the storylines outside of the game. I love that shit, bro. I love all that about this guy got benched and this one, whatever, and this nation versus this nation. I love that part about it. You know what I'm saying? Once the game starts, I have a hard time tracking it because I don't know.
To me, that's what makes the game fun, because I don't care about Major League Soccer or whatever, Barcelona, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I enjoy watching World Cup games, certainly, or Olympic games.
Yeah, you see nation versus nation, rivalry this and blah, blah, blah. And you start to hear like, yo, the crowds are insane. I love all that part about it. My thing, like I said, I get lost because I don't know. Like in basketball, you're watching basketball, you could be like, all right, they're playing zone, they're playing man.
Yeah,
they're
you don't know the strategy.
Press, they're playing, you kind of know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Whereas in soccer, you don't know, oh, they're in a full court, they're in a full pitch press, or they're playing defense, or they're falling back, or like you tell me on football, I watch football, I know the defense. I'm like, oh shit, I can tell you up and down what they're doing. It's different with soccer, so you kind of gotta like.
The best stat is that neither Messi or Ronaldo have ever scored a goal on India.
Did they ever play India?
Imagine a country of 1.5 billion people. You can't put 11 or 12 guys out there.
That is crazy, right? That is. Yo, let me ask you this question, right? Before we hang up, before we go, do you think? I actually posed this question years ago. Do you think if the United States, because all these other countries, their best athletes play soccer? Right? Do you think if the United States' best athletes, period, grew up playing soccer as opposed to whatever sport they're playing, would we be dominant?
Well, are you telling me if Tyreek Hill was on the soccer field, he wouldn't run laps around like every
Yeah, let's say Tyreek Hill. You got a wing like him and Jefferson. You got freaking Gronkowski at the goalie. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Kelsey at goalie. You have freaking just the midfielders, Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Like I always wondered that shit. Like no, but let's talk serious. Let's talk like I'm talking about like LeBron, Kobe. I'm talking about fucking like.
Well, let me ask Javi that question. Like, is it a disadvantage to be like super tall in the sport?
It depends. You know, because your average height is probably around 6 foot. You know,
they're not all small. There's some big guys in there.
But there's some goalkeepers that go 6'5". You know, so you know it's just basically agility, right? You can't be let's just say like a Shaq, right? You can't be 7 foot 350 pounds in soccer because soccer you need to be in super shape.
Your endurance has to be
your endurance has to be off the charts.
So we want to throw like Westbrook and Beverly out there because then they don't have to shoot threes, right?
Exactly, man. As a matter, where Westbrook at the age of 26 would have been a great soccer player.
Crazy.
Yeah. But again, it's athletes are there. It's now the skill level and understanding the game.
Yeah.
And I think what happens is that they try to put in some of these coaches that are still in particular of the U.S. game as opposed to the universal game of soccer. Like I saw, when he just went super aggressive to try to score. And then all of a sudden on defense, there was too many pockets for the Netherlands to score on the U.S. And that's what happened. And that's it. That's the whole thing. All it takes is 2 goals to win or 1. That's the crazy thing about it. You could look like the superior team in soccer and still lose.
I've seen that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. You got a team dominating. They'll go to like halftime. Be like they have the time of possession and they have the ball that X amount of times, and
it's 0-0 still.
Yeah, and then they lose 1-0. You're like, oh shit, what happened?
And that's soccer. That's why it's that's why it's so beautiful because you could dominate the game for 90 minutes, and all it takes is 1 second of just messing up, and you lose the game.
That sucks, man.
So
who do you have winning the whole thing?
I want Brazil. I don't know if they're gonna win it, but I want Brazil. That's where I'm going with it right now.
I'm with you. I'm with my man. I want Brazil. I want Brazil. I don't know shit about it, but I want Brazil to win. All right, what do you call it? Hey Tyson, yo, you didn't watch the Jets, bro. You beat us, but you didn't watch us, bro. And that second half was ours. My man Mac White woke up in the second half.
Didn't the Jets outgain the Vikings?
Yes, in the second half. In the second half, we rushed them, but we just ran out of time, bro. We didn't have it anymore.
Well, I read an article that basically outlined all of their offensive line injuries because you guys just lost another one, the rookie. Mm-hmm. So if they are even respectable this year, you'd expect it next year with those guys back.
Yeah, everybody come back. Hopefully we get the quarterback situation straight. We got our rookie running back. Our rookie running back on the field, Breece Hall. We're good. We're gonna be fine. I'm actually very excited about it. But damn, those Vikings, they got us. But all right, guys. Anything else in sports you want to talk about real quick before we check out? No, we're good. All right.
Save it for next week.
Yeah, save it for next week for sure. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to
thank
you.
Eagles.
Oh, wait.
Let's go. Giants Eagles. Let's go.
Did you get tickets? Were you able to score tickets?
Yeah, I'm supposed to go, but I'm not feeling great, so I'm like waffling.
Yeah, you're debating. What was it to say? Question. What do you call it?
That's what's up, Chris.
What do you call it? Okay, so we got final scores. We got the Rams versus Los Angeles. Los Angeles. It's the Vegas at Los Angeles scores. Anybody? Javi?
I got the Raiders 29 and the Rams 20.
Rams 20. All right. Go, AK.
I got the Raiders at 24. And the Baker Mayfield's at -3. No, I'll go 20. I'll go 24-13.
You stole my joke, bro. I was about to say some funny shit about Baker myself.
Say it anyway. I'm sure it's not the same joke.
No. I was just like, I was about to be like, I'm just gonna hype up the Rams with the return of Baker Mayfield. Yeah, whatever, bro.
The return. That motherfucker never left.
Yeah.
Football.
He's going to come back. No. Yeah, I got the. I think that the Vegas is catching heat right at the right time. I told Pablo early before the season started that Josh Jacobs was going to have a good year. And, he's a fantasy guy. He's like, no, last year he shit the bed in fantasy. I'm like, bro, he's good. And this year he's killing it. I'm going to go I'm going to go Las Vegas. They're not going to get out of the 20s today. So I'm going to go Las Vegas 27, Las Vegas 28. I'm going to go Rams 24.
And what? 3 touchdowns by Devontae.
Yeah, right? All of them deep. What do you call it?
Props to Chris real quick, too. If either he's traveling from here to that Cowboys game or he's an Eagles fan in Dallas. So either way, respect.
Oh, the Cowboys, Eagles. Nice. Christmas Eve. Oh, yeah. Wow. Oh, shit. All right, guys. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, man, in our living room, our barbershop, for chiming in with some comments. Oh, he's from Florida. Chris, you're in Florida? Nice. You got to come check us out. He's up in Florida. What do you call it? Yeah, thank you guys for joining us, checking us out, dropping your comments, letting us know what you're thinking. Like I said, man, we try to go off the path, talk about.
I think he lives way more north, Mike.
For North Bergen, though. Hey, North Bergen in his house.
Yeah, that's Sammy Torres' brother.
Oh, get out of here! Hey, all right, what's up, Sam? Tell Sam say what's up. Nice.
Yeah.
Good shit. I didn't know that. What do you call it? Yep, there you go. Yep. Good shit, man. Oh, Bruin himself. What do you call it? Yeah, man. Like I was saying, what do you call it? I want to thank everybody for joining us. This is the Sports is My Love Language podcast. We're going to be here every Thursday night, 7 p.m., leading you to the NFL game. Even when the season's over, we'll be here at 7 o'clock. Really, letting you in our living room, letting you in our barbershop, talking that sports talk from all different angles. Keep sharing, join, let people know about us. Join our Sports is My Love Language page on Facebook so we keep the community growing. Comment, drop your memes on there. We do it every week, every day. We talk college football, you name it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, they say the 2 most important days of your life are the day you're born and the day you discover why. Once again, this has been the Sports is My Love Language podcast. I'm your boy Dropping Dimes, a.k.a. the Hopeful Romantic, a.k.a. the feminist who showed his tendencies. And I'm here with my crew, my man AK, my man Javito, and we want to thank you for walking in our why. Have a great one, people. Peace.